Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the FUT birthday Inaki Williams card. We're going to go through the card as details, stats, clips and summary. Before we get into all of that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below if you're going to be grabbing this card. Without further ado, let's get into the review. So guys, getting into this Inaki Williams review, this is the team I used him in, played him in that 4-2-3-1 a striker spot, and I also tried him in the left mid spot as well, just to see how he did as a winger. And overall, my first impressions of this card, guys, this card is pretty decent. I do think there's some flaws about this card as well, but overall I think it's a decent card. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Inaki Williams, 6'1", high medium work rate, right footed, 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, 8 games played, 11 goals scored and 1 assist. So all of this lovely, guys. In terms of the card, I really don't have any complaints about the face of the card, especially with the FUT birthday upgrades. The 4-star weak foot is lovely to have, and I feel like, guys, this is a really overall complete striker. In terms of the chemistry style, guys, I used the finisher on him. I do feel like this is the best way to go with this card if you're going to use him as striker. There is, of course, a different way to go. Of course, if you're going to play him out wide, I would recommend a different chemistry style for that. But for the striker, I used the finisher. I thought that was the best way to go. In terms of the key pros, guys, we've, of course, got that shot power. The acceleration and sprint speed are great. All the physicality stats are good as well for this card. The dribbling and composure are both good as well. So all a nice little mix of things to have, especially for a striker. In terms of the cons, though, guys, the finishing is a little bit low, hence why I used the finisher. I do feel like the agility and balance needs a helping hand as well, just to bring him up to a better level of dribbling and be able to move a bit easier on the ball. And guys, I do think his link up play was slightly poor as well. And of course, you can't boost everything about this card, so we had to leave the passing alone. I do feel like you have to keep things relatively simple in terms of link up play. Don't feel like you can be too expressive in terms of all of that. But overall, guys, a good stat set to have, and I feel like he's pretty well rounded for a striker, given he is 6'1", so big, so strong, fast as well, able to strike the ball, able to do a lot of things with the ball as well in terms of dribbling. So an overall really nice, well packaged card in there as well. And finally, getting into the traits, you've got the solid player trait, the speed dribbler trait, the outside the foot shot trait, the team player trait, and the chip shot trait. So all lovely traits to have in a striker. And now that we've covered all that, we're going to get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, getting into some of Inaki Williams clips, and what you guys are going to see is his ability to, 1, play at that striker spot, and 2, play at that left wing spot. Now the first clip there, guys, you saw that chip that went flying over. That's to illustrate a very important point about this Inaki Williams card, and that's the first point we're going to get into because it is so prominent in this card, is that his finishing is very inconsistent, guys. Now, of course, on the face of the card, he has 86 shooting. That is not high enough, and his finishing is only 86 as well. I feel like this card needs a significant boost in that regard, especially considering he is a striker. Now, if you are intending on focusing him at the wing, then maybe it's not so important. But guys, I do feel like this card's best position is the striker role, so I do feel like that shooting does need a helping hand because it is very inconsistent. I mean, some of these chances he should be sticking away very easily, and he just doesn't, which was a real con for me in terms of this card. In terms of getting into something positive though about the card, guys, we will talk about his pace, and of course Inaki Williams, we'll talk about the pace and the physicality combined, because that's really where it is the most dangerous. Inaki Williams' pace and physicality together make him such a problem in terms of a matchup, because if you come up against him with, say, a Varane, he's got too much pace for him. If you come up against someone who's a bit smaller, then he's got too much power for that person, or just the height in general. He's very able to take on all types of defenders, which just makes him such a problem against those defenders. Now, if we get into the next part of his game, guys, which is his passing, I felt like his passing was just okay. I felt his link-up play was pretty poor. At times he played okay passes for me, but other times it was absolute garbage what he was playing. So I really struggled at times, guys, with his link-up play. Keeping things simple as well was really the best way to go with this card in terms of his passing. He's able to cross the ball okay. I wouldn't say his crossing is very good either, though. So in terms of wing play, if you are going to play him as a winger, I would say the crossing is where you need to focus on more for this card. If you're going to pass the ball more, the short passing, the crossing, definitely something I would focus on. Getting into the dribbling, guys, now the dribbling wasn't that bad actually without the boost. However, with a boost to the agility, I do feel like this card really does benefit a lot. I do feel like his dribbling isn't bad without the boost. It does do reasonably well. He's able to move quite well, considering as well that he has 86 agility and in the 70s balance. This card was actually okay in terms of dribbling, so I do feel like he was able to dribble. Just that if you do give him a helping hand with that chemistry style, he'll become so much better, and that's really where I would look to go with a striker or a winger, guys. It doesn't matter where you choose to play him. I would recommend you guys look to boost that to get the best out of this card. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, guys, is just the general play on Inaki Williams. There was a lot of stuff with Inaki Williams that I felt like he was just able to do a lot more in terms of striker role. He's a very complete striker, guys, in terms of how he plays. He's got size, speed, decent finishing, decent passing, and decent dribbling as well. If you put that all together, what you do have is a card that is very complete in all aspects. Now, granted, he does have some of his shortcomings. Of course, we have mentioned those in his finishing and passing. But overall, guys, I feel like this card does do very well in terms of being able to link into squads, being able to link up with other Spanish players, of course, and also do a job for you and your team, because he is a very capable striker when you get things right with him. Guys, as we get into these final few clips, it's just more of the same from Inaki Williams, and really summing up what is great about this card in terms of moving past players, the strength there to hold off defenders as well, and the finishing to go with it as well. More of the same again, using that dribbling to get away from the defender there, getting inside, and it's an easy finish again. And in this final clip, guys, again, more of the same, getting into a good spot, dribbling past a couple of defenders, getting in on goal, and then finishing it from there. So guys, if we just get into this final Inaki Williams summary, 300k on the PlayStation, 260 on the Xbox, and 317 on the PC. Now guys, getting straight into the key stats, of course, that pace, acceleration, sprint speed, both fantastic. The jumping, good on this card as well. The stamina, good as well. Decent dribbling, decent composure as well on this card, and decent shot power there too, as well as attack positioning. Now guys, the drawbacks of it are the agility. You do need to give that a bit of a helping hand. I think his link-up play is a bit poor at times, and his shooting can be a little hit and miss, as you guys have seen with the chances from the clips. So guys, I'd be looking to boost those elements of his card, and I think maybe the finisher might be the best way to go, just to enable him to be a really good finisher in and around the box. You could, of course, go with the marksman as well, but I feel like you do need to help out that agility a lot in terms of just making this guy a cleaner and smoother dribbler. So I think the finisher would be the one that I would recommend for you guys there. In terms of similar players, guys, he's actually a very different player to a lot of these guys. Now, I look at Ante Rebic's card, I look at Marcus Rashford, those kind of guys are leaner body types. This Inaki Williams is a much bigger body type, much more capable in terms of his physicality and what he's able to do compared to those guys. Rebic, of course, very physical player, but a bit leaner than Inaki Williams, but of course that style of play, that size of player, that pace of player, very similar to those two cards there. In terms of linkability, guys, you've of course got some perfect links to players like Ander Kappa's freeze card, Yuri Berchic's What If Plus card, Raul Garcia's man of the match cards, as well as Inigo Martinez. You've then of course got strong links to all of these Spanish players, Spanish icons across La Liga, of course the Spanish players, the Spanish icons, and as well as other players from Sevilla as well in there, like Jesus Navas, Athletic Bilbao, for his teammates as well, will be available in these cards too. Which leads me into the price comparison, guys. He's 300k right now. He sits currently just above Baby Stoichkov and below prime Davor Shukur, above prime Henrik Larsson as well. Now guys, for me, this price is really low considering what he's capable of doing. If we just go up and look at the players he'll be up against as well, Andrei Shevchenko's prime icon, David Trezeguet's prime moment, Jamie Vardy's record breaker. I think he's, when you compare him against these cards, Marcus Rashford's inform, I think this card's actually really good value, guys, compared to those kind of cards. I think he plays very well. I do think his finishing is inconsistent, but it leads me into my final recommendation, guys, which is if you're going to pick up this card for that striker spot, you won't do much better than this in terms of a good mid-level option. This card is very good in terms of the pace, in terms of the physicality, and what you need to help on this card, you can help with the right chemistry style. So I do feel like this card can be very complete in terms of just playing in that striker position, or even out wide as well, guys. He's more than capable of doing that job as well. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. Until next time, I will see you all in a bit.